Humanity had always believed the stars were vast, unconquerable, and distant enough that war would never again touch their home. For centuries, the scars of ancient terrestrial conflicts had taught them caution. Progress was deliberate, unified under councils that valued exploration over domination, dialogue over force. Yet for all their optimism, they never imagined the day would come when the sky itself would burn above them, when the distant civilizations they hoped to greet with peace would respond not with curiosity, but with cold, calculated aggression. The Galactic Empire had watched humanity's rise with growing unease, their bureaucratic machine slow but relentless. For generations, they dominated thousands of systems, ruled by the absolute belief that order must be preserved at any cost. A young, rapidly advancing species like humanity threatened that order, not because humans were violent, but because they were unpredictable, creative, and far too quick at understanding technologies the Empire had taken millennia to refine. It was the unpredictability the Empire feared, the ingenuity they couldn't measure. And so, in a chamber of polished obsidian beneath the Empire's central capital, a council of ancient beings reviewed projections, battle simulations, and political forecasts. Their decision, when spoken aloud, felt almost casual. Humanity needed to be contained before it became a force capable of standing beside the elder powers as equals. A limitation, a restriction, a blockade, anything that reminded this upstart world that the galaxy belonged to the Empire. They sent their first message with all the arrogance of a civilization that had not been challenged in 10,000 years. Humanity received it with shock, confusion, and disbelief. The Empire demanded they halt all expansion beyond their home system, cease their exploration missions, and surrender control of their outer colonies. Humanity responded with diplomacy, with offers of cooperation and trade. They asked for clarification, for dialogue, for peace. The Empire interpreted this as weakness. On a quiet night, beneath a sky too calm for the violence that followed, the Empire moved from posturing to action. Their fleet emerged from folds in space-time, vast structures of blackened metal and cold precision. Without warning, without declaration, without the courtesy of a final demand, they opened fire on Earth's orbital ring. Thousands of satellites, civilian, scientific, communications, were obliterated within minutes. The orbital elevator, a marvel of engineering connecting Earth's surface to space, snapped under a barrage of plasma fire, falling in burning fragments across the Pacific. On Luna, human research bases crumbled beneath precision kinetic strikes. Colonies on Mars lost atmosphere, their domes ruptured by orbital bombardment. Over 3 million humans died in the first hour. The galaxy watched without emotion. To them, this was standard practice. A small species pushed back into submission. A rising power reminded of its place. What the Empire and the galaxy did not understand was that humanity had a limit, a boundary that no enemy had crossed in thousands of years. The attack on Earth did more than cause destruction. It unified 8 billion voices into one. It awakened every forgotten instinct, every old wound carved into the species' history. Humanity had always been peaceful because peace was earned after suffering. But when their home was struck, when innocent lives were taken, humanity found clarity in its fury. The attack became the spark that ignited a fire unlike anything the galaxy had prepared for. In the hours following the assault, underground bunkers across Earth activated. Data centers rerouted power. Military satellites hidden in deep black programs awoke like ancient guardians. World leaders gathered, physically and holographically, in the deepest war room humankind had ever constructed. No names were spoken. No titles mattered. Only resolve. The generals, faceless in their unity, examined the destruction in silence. They reviewed casualty counts. They assessed damage across orbital stations, scanned for survivors, analyzed debris, and calculated the Empire's attack pattern. They moved with practiced precision, no panic, no hesitation, only purpose. These were not warmongers. These were protectors forged by a species that understood the price of survival better than most. The Empire sent a second transmission, believing their display of force had been enough. It was a demand for unconditional surrender, for the dismantling of Earth's defenses, and for immediate compliance with imperial law. The transmission played in the war room. There was no anger on the faces of the generals, only a silent, absolute decision. Humanity would no longer respond with negotiation. They would respond with strength. The war room dimmed as holoscreens displayed the Empire's fleet composition, vulnerabilities, and projected reinforcement timelines. Human analysts, augmented by quantum processing AIS, calculated response strategies in seconds. Factories across Earth switched to wartime production without needing a command. Every scientist, engineer, pilot, and operator understood what must be done. Humanity did not mobilize because they wanted revenge. They mobilized because they had been attacked at home, because millions had died, because the Empire had believed humans would break. Instead, humanity became sharper, faster, stronger. The Empire's envoy arrived in orbit days later, expecting to see a broken world. Their fleets hovered above Earth, armored hulls gleaming with imperial insignias, ready to accept Earth's surrender. But Earth did not respond. Not immediately. They waited until the entire Galactic Empire's relay network was synced, until every watching species could see and hear what humanity would say next. Inside the war room, one of the generals stepped forward. Their face was not shown. Their identity did not matter. They represented humanity itself. With calm precision, they activated the transmission. Across the galaxy, screens flickered. Imperial officers leaned forward. Independent worlds paused their routines. Neutral species felt a chill. For the first time since the attack, humanity spoke, "You attacked our homeland." Those 4 words carried more weight than any threat. They were not spoken with rage, but with a kind of controlled clarity that frightened even seasoned imperial commanders. It was the tone of a species that had made its decision. The transmission continued, not with pleas, not with fear, but with a warning. Humanity declared that the Empire's actions would not go unanswered. They stated that they would defend their world, their people, and every future generation with a resolve carved from their oldest history. Humanity did not boast. They did not promise conquest. They promised justice. The Empire dismissed the message as bravado. They had faced rebellions before, insurgents, insurgent species, breakaway clusters. They believed humanity to be the same. They were wrong. The moment the transmission ended, Earth unveiled technologies the Empire had not anticipated. Quantum-linked targeting arrays activated. Stealth ships, never publicly disclosed, rose from ocean hangars. Orbital platforms repaired themselves with adaptive nanostructures. Human engineers, driven by the loss of their loved ones, began breakthroughs at speeds no other species could match. Within hours, human scientists decoded fragments of Imperial weaponry from debris collected during the attack. They discovered weaknesses, flaws, structural gaps in energy shielding, details the Empire never thought another species could find so quickly.